Most people don't realize they're making these mistakes until they're already in the park. And by then, it's too late. You spent the time, the money, you've planned the trip, and suddenly it feels rushed, stressful, and just not what you expected. Hi, I'm Teresa from an acre in the city. I've traveled to all 50 states and over 80% of the National Park Service sites. And I've made some of these mistakes myself. So today I'm sharing the biggest national park mistakes that can quietly ruin your trip and exactly how you can avoid them. Some of these are very common, especially if you're planning your first big national park road trip. Mistake number 1, trying to do too much. This is probably the biggest mistake, and honestly, one of the easiest ones to make. You want to see everything. I know I do. Every viewpoint, every trail, every must-see stop. But what actually happens? You end up rushing through everything and not really enjoying any of it. I've done this before. By where day 3 of the trip feels exhausting, and it's not fun anymore. Instead, focus on 1 or 2 anchor activities for each day. Give yourself some space to explore, because some of the best moments in the national parks are ones you didn't plan for. Mistake number 2, picking the wrong route. This one starts before your trip even begins, trying to connect parks that logically don't go together. Just because 2 parks are on your bucket list doesn't mean they belong on the same trip. That tends to lead to long driving days, constant moving, and not enough time in each place. If you want help with this, I've got a whole video on beginner-friendly national park road trip routes. I'll link that in the description, because when your route makes sense, your whole trip just feels easier. Mistake number 3, packing too much or packing the wrong things. This one tends to sneak up on people. You pack for every possible scenario, and suddenly your car is full, your suitcase is overflowing, and you're digging for things at every stop. I used to do this, bring way more than I needed. But national park trips are actually pretty simple. Layers, good shoes, and a few key essentials go a long way. If you want a full breakdown, I also have a video about what to pack without overpacking. I'll link that below in the description. Packing lighter makes everything easier. Most of these mistakes come down to planning. That's why I created my National Parks Tip Guide. It helps you plan your trip step by step, so you don't miss small things that turn into big problems. You can grab that in the link in the description. Mistake number 4, ignoring the weather. This one can change your entire trip. I once had to pivot a whole trip because of a hurricane. Not fun to do last minute, but I had the vacation time, so I had to change the trip. People assume summer means warm or spring means mild, but national parks don't always follow these rules. I've been to Rocky Mountain National Park in late May, and there was still snow on the ground. Ice cleats made a huge difference for us. The people that weren't prepared were sliding all over the trails, but we easily trekked our path right past them. And even when roads open, it can still be really windy at higher elevations. We definitely needed extra layers when we were at the top of the pass. Weather just isn't about comfort. It affects safety, trail conditions, and what you're even able to do. So always check the conditions before you go, not just the forecast. And make sure you check all the locations on your trip, not just where you're leaving from or starting from. All those spots in the middle can make a difference too. Mistake number 5, not planning entry and timing. This one tends to catch a lot of people off guard. Some parks require timed entry reservations. Some parks have shuttle service. Some have limited parking. You can show up at the park and not actually be able to get in the way you expected. Parks like Zion and Arches especially require a little more planning now. And even without reservations, the time of day, it matters. Early mornings and late afternoons are almost always better. They're less crowded, better lighting, and typically end in a better experience overall. Mistake number 6, underestimating drive times. This is a big one, especially at large parks. Driving inside a park can take way longer than expected. Olympic is a great example. Getting from one area of the park to the other, it takes time. Same with Yellowstone. It's not just the distance. It's traffic, wildlife, stops, and winding roads. So if your day is packed with driving and activities, it's going to feel rushed. Mistake number 7, only visiting the popular spots. This one might surprise you. A lot of people just stick to the top 3 things to do in the park, and they miss everything else that's great about the park. Some of the best experiences I've had at national parks have been outside the busiest areas. The trails are quieter, the viewpoints are less crowded, and you're likely to see some more unexpected moments. If you want some ideas for parks that don't get quite as much attention, I also have a video on underrated national parks that are absolutely worth visiting. So if you want your national park trip to feel smooth instead of stressful, avoid trying to do too much. Choosing the right route, packing smarter, and give yourself the time and flexibility to actually enjoy the experience. Tell me in the comments, what's one mistake you've made in a trip that you'd never want to repeat? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.